those words in the gospel are sort of startling coming from Jesus. Wishing the earth was already on fire. You know, I think we all know how destructive fire can be. If we look at the forest fires around the country. You know, me and Janice and our in-laws decided to go to Montana for a little bit last week. And everything was so beautiful, green and everything. And we went to this little town called Posen, which is on Flathead Lake. And driving into the town, the whole mountainside was pretty much black. A massive forest fire had sort of wiped away the top of it. We're on a lake, Flathead Lake, and as we're just tooling around there, all of a sudden we notice these airplanes, and these planes are coming down, picking up water from the lake and dropping them on the fire. We went back there the next day, and even the last day we were there, we still saw the planes, 4 planes, picking up water. Fire is so destructive. But why would Jesus say something like this to his disciples? You know, the Jewish people thought that fire was punishment. Punishment. If we do something bad, God's going to rain down fire on us. So what is Jesus referring to here? Well, in the Gospel of Luke, and also in the Acts of the Apostles, fire also represents the Holy Spirit. If you think back, what did John say? I'm baptizing you with water, but there's someone else that's going to baptize you with fire and the Holy Spirit. What did Jesus tell his disciples at the ascension? I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to send you an advocate who's going to dwell within you. I'm going to send you the Holy Spirit. And what happened on the day of Pentecost? That's in Acts. It said the Holy Spirit descended and the people had tongues of fire. So that's really what Jesus is talking about. And it's that same Holy Spirit that he's referring to that you and I received. Isn't that amazing? We received that exact same fire, and that fire is in us, whether we realize it or not. At some people, it's a raging flame, and at some people, it's like a flicker, like a candle. But we all have that Holy Spirit, that fire within us. And Jesus said he wished that it would spread all over the earth. And the only way that can happen is not just through Father Albert, not through Dcn Frank, but for all of you sitting out there in the pews. That's how it burns all over the earth. Now you might be saying, Deacon, what difference can I make? Come on. I'm an accountant. I'm a salesperson. I can't get up in front of people and talk. How can I do this? Every little thing helps. It's sort of like the story that I know that you've heard before. You've heard this story before. The guy walking down the beach on an island, and there are thousands of starfish all over the beach. And as he walks, he sees this little boy picking up starfish and throwing them back in the water. So the man walks up to the little boy and says, you know, what are you doing? There are thousands of starfish out here. You can't save them all. What difference can you make? So the boy didn't pay any attention. He reached down and picked up another one, threw it out there and said, it made a difference to that one. That's what we have to understand. Everything we do can make a difference. It can affect someone's life. You know, St. Teresa of Avila made the statement that the devil tries to incite us to believe that we're going to do something good for God someday instead of doing something for God now. And sometimes we're like that sometimes. Well, someday I'm going to volunteer to do this. Later on when I'm going to do this. But what are we doing today? What are we doing today? We all know someone. We all know someone that maybe had that fire, but it's gone. It might be a family member. They just totally walked away from the church. It might be another relative. It might be a good friend of ours. It may be the best man or the matron of honor at my wedding. But they've just gone. It could be a colleague at work. So what can you do? What you can do is the fire that burns in you can be the fire that ignites or reignites that fire in someone else. Maybe just the way you live your life. Someone goes, I don't know what it is about you. I don't know, but I want what you have. It's an opening for you to tell them about how you have the Holy Spirit and how the Holy Spirit lives inside of you. Maybe it's just inviting them to Sunday Mass or inviting them to a daily Mass. Inviting them back to the sacraments. These are all the ways that we can ignite that fire in other people. And we can help spread that fire all over the earth. As Jesus says, I came to set the earth on fire. And I wish it was burning. We're the ones who are going to cause that burn. So I ask you, when you walk out of here after Mass, how are you going to set the earth on fire? Think about it.
Let's now stand to profess our faith.